Welcome back, strangers. Tonight we're excited to have Slumber Reads on. He's going to be hanging out with us, discussing life, YouTube, and taking a look back at 2018 as a whole. So it's going to be a good time. It's been a crazy year. If you don't already know Slumber, he's the man of many talents. He's a horror narrator, gamer, and more. So be sure to check him out. We should have his link in the description below. If not, we'll fix it. We'll get it there, but definitely check him out. He's back grinding after dealing with all the demonetization bullshit that's been affecting the community lately. So very glad to have, all that behind us for now. We don't have to worry about it. But yeah, my name's Blake. I am the editor / narrator for The Strangest. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? I'm Ethan. I write for The Strangest. And if you're new, we're a paranormal, unsolved mysteries channel. We try to travel to places and film haunted places, share with you guys, strangers on the internet. So thanks for joining us tonight, Slumber. How do you introduce yourself and your channel to people?
First off, thank you guys for having me on. I'm pretty excited to be here. I narrate scary stories on the internet, both true and fiction. Basically anything ranging from cryptids, paranormal stuff, creepypastas, literally anything you can imagine. As long as it's horror, I'll probably narrate it. I think that's probably the best way I can explain it. I've been around for about 3.5 years.
That's forever, man. In the community,
that is a really long time.
You're a geezer.
Seems like forever. People didn't really know about me till this year, but it's all good.
Yeah, but no, that's awesome. Like, just the horror community in general is great. So definitely check him out. I'll catch up on the chat real quick. It's good to see you, Kenneth. Phantom of Darkness, how's it going? Living Dead Bones, good to see you. Stacy, hey. Wolfie said, my boy Slumber. Phantom of Darkness said, I want to discuss life. Well, get ready. It's going to happen. So much life. Hey, Gabby. Yeah. Hey, Gabby. Let's see. After Dark Paranormal, good to see you. Phantom of Darkness said, Blake Shelton. Not quite. I mean, maybe before you got popular, like maybe back in the mullet days. But no. Mosquito Chan, good to see you. Bad Vibe Storytelling said, hey, strange, this is Slumber. And Rebecca said, Blake, what the fuck is behind you? It looks like a light up steering wheel. Oh, that's my one of my Christmas presents. It's a Panthers clock, and it doesn't have batteries in it, so it's not working. A lot like the Panthers. And yeah, that's about it. So 7
losses in a row, man.
Can you say hi to Johnny? 8. It's about to be 8. Oh, I didn't see Johnny. Where's Johnny?
Yeah,
damn, I have him on live chat.
Yeah.
I missed. Oh, there he is.
Down,
he was
man.
in between Rebecca posts. I'm sorry. Rebecca says, is that a picture of Slumber? If he has a picture of him, why wouldn't he cut the camera on? Rebecca's a stickler for webcam. Don't let her.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Don't let her berate you.
Yeah.
My webcam is terrible. I wouldn't be doing you guys any favors if I turned it on.
We don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, you started your channel 3 years ago. Was it your first channel? Like, what made you decide to start a channel?
It wasn't my first channel. I had a channel when I was like a lot younger, when I was like 13. I had a channel with about 13,000 subs, and I was putting together, I used to do like combat arms montages, and I let a guy who was like really good at editing edit my 13K montage. And I also was a little kid, so I let him upload it too. So he ran off with the channel.
That sucks so much.
Yeah,
man.
so I've been around since then, just like gaming, being in different teams and whatnot, leading different teams, a few fairly large ones. And then in early 2015, I decided to start my own channel again, and now we're here.
Dude.
Man, that sucks. I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
It happened.
The moral of the story is don't trust anyone. Everyone
pretty much, yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, Autumn. Sorry, hey, Texas. I get yelled at every time I say Autumn. Go Johnny said, that sounds like Slumber. Yeah, he kind of does, come to think of it.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that till you said it. But,
so your channel's been growing
all.
You're fine. It's slow. We did a thing before this, so we should work this out. So your channel started, like, when did it start growing? Like it grew a lot this year, and like since you've been remonetized, like you just posted, like it's grown a lot just since it's come back on.
Yeah. Well, when I started it in 2015, I didn't start it with the intention of narrating scary stories. Basically, I was in a Call of Duty team, and I was in there as a sniper. You know, I would help make montages for the team channel. The team wanted to take a farther direction into content creating and bringing on different content creators. So in order for me to hold a roster spot on the team, I had to create a channel where I could post gaming videos. So I would tell like funny life stories and just different stuff like that. And the channel took off pretty quick. I think I got to like 2,000 subs pretty early on. When I was around 2,000 subs, I was telling this like funny life story or whatever, and I just briefly mentioned sleep paralysis and how I get it pretty often. So a lot of people in the chat were like, "Hey, you should tell some sleep paralysis stories." And I was like, "I don't know, that's kind of weird. I don't know about all that." But people were pretty persistent about it and really wanted to see it. So I wound up telling some scary personal sleep paralysis stories, and it kind of spiraled from there because people in the comment section wanted to send in their own. So I started telling theirs and then adding input onto it. And then people were like, "Hey, you should just tell like scary stories in general." So I started narrating scary stories, having no idea that there was already a community for it. And then, I don't know, things were pretty slow growing for a while, but I think like maybe like a year in, things started to take off pretty slowly. I think I got to like 10K or something like that. And I didn't even talk to another narrator until I had like 12K. I had no idea there was a whole entire community behind it. So
That's really cool that you just did it on your own for that long, because it's weird not knowing the communities out there. Like I see a lot of smaller channels that know right away. I mean, we didn't know until like 1,000 subs. I mean, that's early on compared to you, but it still helps knowing that there's other people out there and you can see it.
yeah,
So,
I was like, this is cool. Like I didn't even know people were out here doing this.
yeah.
And then, I wound up getting introduced to like Dark Paradox and Swamp Dweller and a bunch of other people, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've never heard of any of them. Swamp.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's pretty small, but
So we're gonna have to talk about sleep paralysis at some point tonight.
Yeah, Blake has it a lot. So
yeah,
interesting.
Fucking a lot, like way too much. But we'll talk about that because I definitely want to talk to someone who actually experiences it a lot, because most people are like, yeah, I had it one time. So we'll talk about that later.
I had it one time and it was really scary. It's like, cool. That's rough, man.
It's like I couldn't breathe. It's like, oh, really? Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to imagine, but
yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. Autumn, Texas said, "Hey." Actually, I don't have much to catch up on. We're good. Go ahead, Ethan.
So besides the sleep paralysis, have you ever had a paranormal experience, or has it all just been the sleep paralysis?
Tons. I plan on like eventually getting around to telling them all on my channel. I've already told a few. My most recent video actually starts off with a paranormal story of my own. My friends and I basically went to this abandoned school that we were hearing all these stories about, and we came across this room that had like a mattress and like some clothes and like a toothbrush and stuff in it, which might not sound strange for somebody who like lives in a big city, but we're talking about like a small Minnesota town. So it was clear that like somebody was staying in there. And basically like I wound up breaking off from my friends. I went down into the basement, and while I was down there, I heard this like blood curdling scream of like a female's voice or whatever. So I ran up to the main floor, and my friends ran to me, and like I thought they were messing with me. They thought I was messing with them, type of thing, you know? So we wound up just deciding like, well, we should probably just get out of here because this is weird. You know, I mean, we already know that somebody was staying here. We don't know if there's more people staying here. So we wound up walking out. And then as we were walking out, we got caught by a police officer who told us that 2 weeks like prior to us being there was a homeless guy who came running out in the middle of the night butt naked because he saw some like little ghost girl screaming at him while he was trying to sleep. And that's probably like one of my best stories. But
oh man,
yeah, it was wild.
That's a boner killer right there. It's like, That sucks. That should have been on one of the stories we were talking about earlier. Before this live stream, we recorded I guess we could say an rated R XXX live stream about like different fetishes and sex stories. And yeah, that would qualify. Yeah, anyway, back on topic. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I've had some weird things happen, but it's never been like that. I've never heard someone scream. I've heard like voices and that I wasn't sure who they came from. But I don't know if I heard someone scream. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I found a homeless person stuffed like under a bridge, like where they had been staying. They weren't there, but that was just creepy. The fact that you were kind of in someone else's space. So I couldn't imagine having that experience at night and then like the scream and then being told that stuff after. That'd be really freaky.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like I was just sitting there thinking like, wow, and I was in the basement by myself. Like, no thanks.
It's like the start of it right there. All right. So like do your friends and family know about your channel? Or like anyone in real life? Or is it like a secret thing on the side?
It kind of was like a secret thing for a very, very long time. But more here recently, I'd say like the middle of this year onward, pretty much everybody knows about it and they're pretty supportive. My dad, I would say my dad is probably more interested in my channel than I am, which says a lot because I'm pretty passionate about YouTube, but he's super supportive of it. And it's nice having that kind of like backbone to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So does he have favorite channels that he watches and he's subscribed to? Or does he just like really into yours?
He's really into Shane Dawson, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah.
He's always like, do you know who Shane Dawson is? And I'm like, yes, you've asked me that like 100 times. But yeah.
That's pretty cool. And that's like one of the few YouTubers around right now that's actually good, you know, still that throughout the years and years of YouTube has remained good. So he has good taste. Swamp Dweller said Slumber makes me moist.
Ooh, Big Daddy Swamp.
Very moist in the swamp. Rebecca was talking about the video I was mentioning. She said that needs to go on this channel instead of Patreon so we could get sponsored by Adam and Eve. Hashtag the kinkiest.
I don't think Adam and Eve would care about us enough. We'll see.
The kinkiest. Sounds like a series to me.
Could be. We got to push and see how much it takes. Like, how much will YouTube allow?
Yeah,
but I'd love to do a live stream talking about weird shit like that. But I'm sure YouTube would drop the ban hammer.
Yeah, I don't trust YouTube anymore or at all. We never really trusted YouTube. So
yeah, I mean YouTube has never fucked me over, you know, like I have full trust.
When you got demonetized, was YouTube like your full-time job or was it still like a side thing you were just doing?
It was, but not for very long. It was like I think I quit my job like 2 months before I got demonetized.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was rough because you know, I was like just getting into it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like I got my dream job, then all of a sudden just gone. But
yeah. It's like a fake lottery ticket. Like you get to say "fuck you" to your boss, and then you find out.
Then your boss is like, "What you say?" And it's like, "Can I have my job back?" No. Yeah,
that's really sad. I mean, it's scary to think that you can never really invest in YouTube. I mean, not saying it's good that they went back and changed it, but who's to say that down the road they might not come up with some other weird excuse to why a channel should be shut down. It's like even people with huge channels, it's like, can you afford to make that your only job at this point? Like YouTube's guidelines are so vague. I don't know.
Yeah, it's terrible because like when I got demonetized, I had creators not even just in like the horror scene, you know what I mean? I mean creators with like millions of subs asking me like, what happened? How did that happen? Like, do you think there's any specific reason for it? Like a lot of people are terrified about losing their jobs, which luckily now we know that it's just a bad YouTube AI. And as long as you make enough noise, it's pretty likely that it'll get fixed. But that doesn't help out all the smaller guys that just can't, you know what I mean? They can't get that reach to get a hold of YouTube. And yeah, I mean, it's sad. Like it's terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, thinking about what you were saying earlier, you were at 12,000 before you realized the community was there. So it's like without the community, like the Twitter community, I mean, that seems to be the real wake up to YouTube that got their attention. So I mean, a lot of channels are probably getting hit by this and have no idea there's a way to even fight back or do anything about it. So I mean, it's sad, but it's definitely a time where the horror community has kind of banded together. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one thing that like really good did come out of it, because I'm not saying that like the horror community was ever up in arms with each other or anything, because that's definitely not the case. It's always been a pretty friendly atmosphere, but throughout the demonetization, like everybody banded together. I mean, whether you were a writer, a fan, a narrator, even just somebody who just has a respect for content creating just as a whole was backing us, and that was really nice to see.
Yeah, I'm just really glad it came back, because I mean, if nothing else, it kind of sets a precedent to say, look, you guys are saying as of now this is acceptable content. Like, don't go back and change it. But it was really discouraging to know that an AI was able to do something like that. And I mean, I assume it was an AI because they did go back and change it. But the fact that, they gave a bot that much power to just take away someone's livelihood, that's pretty scary. And I think that really boils down to YouTube just not being, they need to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? They need to be more in touch with their employees, basically. I know we're contractors, but you have to be able to reach out and be able to talk to someone and not just get a randomly generic email back, or I don't know.
Yeah, did you ever talk to anyone like from YouTube directly, or was it all just done like automatic and just on like through tweets on Twitter? Did anyone ever reach out to you?
It was all on Twitter. As a matter of fact, the same day that I got remonetized, I got an email saying that I was denied from the partnership program. Like that's how bad their communication is. Like 2 hours before I got remonetized, I literally got an email saying like, your application has been denied. You can reapply in 30 days, that whole entire spiel. So I was just like sitting there like, okay, well, I guess that's it. You know what I mean? Because I got to wait 30 days before I can even try again. That's twice now that I've gotten denied. I guess, YouTube is just for fun again. And, that's not all bad, because I don't think anybody would be on YouTube if they didn't have a passion for it in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. And then it was actually Swamp and we were DMing just like talking about the situation. And he's like, man, this is really crap. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, bro. He's like, what? And I'm like, I just got remonetized. He's like, no way. So then, yeah, then all the tweets went up, and then the very next day, pretty much everybody else got remonetized as well. That was a victorious day. That was pretty nice.
Definitely.
God, it just plays with your emotions. I mean, luckily we haven't, knock on wood, we hadn't had to deal with it. But every time I get an email from YouTube, my heart drops, and I'm like, "Oh,
it's fucking scary."
It's gonna be it, and it's always like your newsletter. But it's like, damn.
It's like, please don't send me any more newsletters, because if I see an email from YouTube, I'm breaking down. Like, just don't do it.
It's awful, man.
So how much does like being partnered help in the algorithm? Because like before, like when you're demonetized, it made it look like on Twitter that it pretty much like killed your channel, and then as soon as you're partnered again, you're like having crazy stats. Like, what do you think of that?
I honestly think that's all on me, because before I got demonetized, I was gaining like 2,000 subs a week. I mean, I was at the height of my channel.
Yeah.
And I'll be pretty happy if I can ever get back to that point again. You know what I mean? At that point, it was like, if I didn't get 10,000 views on a video, I was slightly upset. Like, that's how well the channel was doing at the time. And once I got demonetized, I deleted everything. I mean, I wiped my whole entire channel. So, that basically brought me from, that 400 subs a day to 0, nothing. And I also went to single story uploads instead of, the long uploads that I was known for. So, I was getting maybe like 2,000 views a video for videos that people didn't know me for, on top of I don't have any more old videos recommending these videos, so on and so forth. It just so happens that literally right before I got remonetized, I decided like I'm gonna start making these long videos again that I got known for in the first place. And then, I posted that first one, and then 2 days later I got remonetized. So as far as like being partnered having an effect on whether or not your videos are pushed, I can't tell you for sure. I will say it's definitely a possibility because it seems like my suggested views were so low during those 4 months. I mean, I'd say pretty much all the videos that I uploaded had 0% suggested views, which is like unreal.
Yeah.
But so, basically like that whole entire 4 months, it was just the subscribers I already had that wanted to brave the storm with me. And I think that's why my views were low, but like my interactions were good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So did you get any money from the downtime back, or did they just start over at the day one of being remonetized? Because I know some people were wondering that, like, if they actually get any, like, what's the word, back pay.
Yeah, there's no back pay.
Oh, wow.
I don't expect it to happen, but I know a lot of people are pushing for it. But for me personally, I'm just really concentrated on getting my channel to where it was, but not even just that. I want to make it even better. You know what I mean? I kind of want to like prove to people why I got to where I am. You know what I mean? Again. And, I'm not saying that I'm like this massive YouTuber or anything. I still consider myself very, very, very small in the grand scheme of things. But for me, I'm just happy that it's back, and I'm looking forward to just keeping it going.
Yeah, do you regret deleting all those videos? Like, since YouTube was kind of like, oh, it's our bad. It was an AI. It's not because of your channel. Like, what do you think of that?
I've tried not to put too much thought into it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be negative. I was just wondering, like, if you think that.
Why would you ask that?
That's a terrible question.
I thought about asking. Yeah. I was like, no, that's probably gonna bring back.
No. It's all good. I mean, I've had a lot of time to digest it. It's all good. It is what it is. It's not going to ever come back. I've thought about re-uploading some of the old videos, but the thing is, like, the narrations in them just aren't on par with what I'm doing now. So in a way, it's kind of nice to have that fresh start because, now everything on my channel is up to a quality that I'd like it to be, rather than like, some video that I recorded with my cell phone having 300,000 views like it was. You know what I mean? Like, that was just annoying. Because then all the comments are just like, this is terrible. This is awful. Like, you're talking into, you sound like Wally. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, on the bright side, if you ever have any downtime where you can't put up a video, you could always just throw one of those up and be like, yo, sorry guys, but this will hold you over.
Or re-record it.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think a lot of people would like to see some of those old videos go up because right now, I mean, my story submissions email is more full of people asking for like, private links to old videos than it is for actual story submissions. And that's, I mean, it gets kind of annoying, but I don't know. People like their content, and it's all good.
You'd always start a second channel called Slumber Archives, and then just make bank on 2 channels.
That's very true. That's actually a fucking good idea.
I've thought about that. I mean, I have about roughly 200 videos I could upload. I mean,
do it.
Definitely try it. Then it wouldn't even matter if something happened to it, and you could test things, and then you'd have like a little life raft channel. That's almost a good idea if you still have all that on your computer.
I have most of it. The rest of it is on my friend's hard drive over in LA, but I could always ask him to send him over.
Yeah, I mean, then if you don't have something, I mean, you could even like piecemeal it out too. So if you're like slow on your main channel for whatever reason, you can just throw one up on the other one and tweet that out, try to satisfy people, or even the community tab's a thing now, so you could move people that way. So.
Yeah. And we only require 5% for that idea. So it's a bargain.
I guess like, sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I guess the main thing that's been holding me back from uploading them, other than what I already mentioned, is I'm still suspicious about stock footage. Like, I'm still really, really, really suspicious about it. Like, even the videos that I still have on my channel that have stock footage, I've manually taken ads off of them, just because like I'm still really, really, really confident that it's stock footage that got everybody demonetized. And even though we know now that it's allowed, I just don't want that bot to trigger it again. And then it's like, you know, can I get that push on Twitter again to get it remonetized? And I don't really trust the whole system enough to do it.
What if you just had a picture of you? I mean, people are coming for like the narration, because I know like a lot of YouTube podcasts will just have like kind of like a blank, like whatever their logo is if they don't have cameras up, and that doesn't ever affect things.
I suppose that's true. I could just rip the audio, and then I don't know why I didn't think of that.
5%, man.
It's 10% now. No.
This podcast is profitable.
No, just remember us as you grow, because you're growing fast. So just shout us out every so often. But how did you come up with the name Slumber? You went through other names before, didn't you? Or like, what made you settle on that?
Oh, that is such a long story. That is such a long story. Okay, so when I first created my channel, this is a true story. Okay, when I created my name on YouTube, I slapped my keyboard. I literally slapped my keyboard. My YouTube name was like RYLHSD, just like a whole bunch of different letters, right?
Yeah.
You know, once I got to like 1,000 subs, I was like, I should probably just shorten it to RYLH, which still makes no sense, but I mean, it's better than these 10 random characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I stuck with that name for a very, very, very long time. But once I got to, I want to say it was either 10 or 11K-ish. I started to breach more into like a mainstream audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who, like, you know, didn't come from Twitter, didn't come from my gaming history, didn't come from all this and that, you know what I mean? So everybody was like, I can never remember this guy's name. Like, I see one of his videos, I try and find him later, and it takes me forever to find him. So I was like, well, I should probably change it. And the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the YMCA stands for something. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. Yeah. Okay. So like, yeah, the acronym that people made up for RYLH was Rest Your Little Head, which I always thought was extremely lame, but it kind of worked since I, you know, did scary stories and stuff. So I was like, well, I should probably change it away from RYLH. You know, the first word has kind of been adopted into rest. And then I just looked up synonyms for rest, you know, not that I don't already know them, just, you know, that way I have some stuff to choose from. And I saw Slumber and I was like, that is so perfect. I was like, that is such a good name. So ever since,
well.
yeah. So ever since then, it's been Slumber Reads, Slumber IV, Slumber, whatever people want to go by.
No, that's awesome.
A lot of people call me Slumber 4, which I didn't see that one coming, but I just kind of try and roll with the hits.
I really thought it was Slumber 4. Now I feel dumb.
Everybody does. It's all good though. I plan on changing it to just Slumber eventually. But right now I can't pull top YouTube result because of the Slumber movie. It's like every other week I'm top result and they're top result and I'm top result. I'm kind of waiting until like, you know, I have that steady like I'm top result and then just changing it to Slumber.
Yeah, I know the struggle. We share some weird top results. Like
we do.
It's like some strange videos. But
so
it's pretty cool though.
What do the whole like your gaming teams and stuff think about your success now? Like how you've grown and stuff. Like has that helped you out in that community? Are they excited about it? Or are you on your own now? They're like, this guy's getting too big. Fuck this guy.
I mean, I still have like a lot of connections from the gaming community, but you know, the main thing that kind of keeps me from like really pursuing anything in the gaming community again is because when I had the idea of switching over to scary stories, the gaming community, you know, besides the people that like were my core audience, you know what I mean? Everybody else just thought it was the worst idea. Like there was no support. For the first like 3 or 4 months, like that's all I saw on Twitter was just people memeing my channel, making fun of it. Like, oh, this guy thinks he's gonna get big doing horror narrations, and I was like, well, I don't think I'm gonna get big. I just have fun doing it, and my audience likes it, so like I'm just rolling with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's fun. You know, I think it's cool, whatever. But yeah, the gaming community kind of turned on me pretty quick, which was sad to see because I helped launch a lot of people's what are now careers, you know, from the teams that I led and giving them an opportunity to, you know, upload to the channel that's, you know, I had a part in running or whatever, you know what I mean? But now there's a bit of a shift. I have some people DMing me from time to time saying like, hey, do you remember me? Like you picked me up to Nava back in 2015 and you know, I've been watching you ever since. And it's like, no, you haven't. Like, come on. It's like we both know you're not, but whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of all over the place.
How do you keep like that strong like peace of mind? Like if you had like you didn't have the horror community originally, then you had like your like the gaming people turn on you, and you went through that, got your channel successful, then you got through the demonetization thing. How do you stay sane through all of that?
I don't think I've ever been sane.
Well, you've done a good job of it, man. Just trying to push through all of it. So
I don't know. I mean, I just like I fell into horror narration just by chance, and I don't know. There's an art form to it, and like I really like doing it, and I think that's kind of what's kept me pushing through it. You know, when the gaming community kind of turned on me, and when the demonetization happened, or you know, even when I took that 6-month break before the beginning of this year, and I came back getting like 200 views a video with 12,000 subs. You know what I mean? And it was like that for months before I finally had like a breakthrough. It's just always been about I enjoy what I do, and there's not really anybody that's going to come along and say like, no, this is dumb. Like, I don't like this. That's going to deter me from doing something that I find to be fun.
yeah.
That's good. You have to enjoy it. Otherwise, it's not going to last. But yeah, that's just a lesson to everybody. Like, don't give up. People suck. Again, don't trust anyone. People suck. Follow your dreams.
Don't get excited on YouTube.
Yeah, because haters going to hate. And, you know, bitches get stitches.
Snapping checks and cashing necks.
I've had like a whole 3 beers, man. I'm drunk as shit. No, but I am just socially awkward and stutter. No alcohol required. But yeah, it sucks that the community, like the gaming community, was so shitty about it. It's like, how dare you want to do something different? Gaming is life. Don't you want to make Fortnite compilations the rest of your life? I know this was pre-Fortnite, but still.
No, yeah, I mean, on the flip side though, there were some people that just like had my back the whole way through. Like you know, my friend Mike Benty, he was the guy that I led my last COD team with, you know, Nava Sanction. He was super supportive about it. I mean, he was all about it. He's like, this is so cool, and like nobody's doing this, you know, unbeknownst to us, there's a whole entire community, but you know what I mean? Like keep going with it, and like, you know, you'll find an audience for this, and that was nice. You know, that was a big push to have at least one person that had my back, which I'm not saying that there weren't others, but he was the main one that stuck by me through it.
That's good. You gotta have somebody helping you, just keeping your morale up. For us, like Ethan's the only person really keeping me going, aside from the community. But Ethan's the only one that like actually makes me get shit done. So
I mean, yeah, that's why we have each other. Because if we didn't have each other, I'd definitely like going through all the stuff you and that's why I was saying like you really braved through that. Because I would have been like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm just like days when I'm depressed. I'm like when everyone's freaking out. If people were actually freaking out on me about stuff, that would really make me just not want to do it. So I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean there were people like uploading audio clips from my videos, just memeing it, and it was awful. It was not a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that like, you know, I never got down about it. Like it was pretty disappointing because, you know, I had a large following in the gaming community before, you know, ever being a part of the horror narration community. And it was kind of a bummer just to see it all get washed away. But I don't know. it is what it is. It's in the past.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing like narrations on Twitch or something? Like if you're into like gaming, trying to combine it over to a different platform, or did you just decide to like stick it out with YouTube?
A lot of people said that I should move over to Twitch, but if I'm just being completely honest, like I'm not a huge fan of live streaming myself. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
love being on my friends' live streams or like, something like this. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Like I enjoy it a lot. But I don't like to be the man running the show behind a stream.
Yeah.
I always find myself running out of things to talk about and getting onto weird rambles that nobody can follow. So
I feel you. Like when it's 3 people like we have now, there's usually someone that has something to say, so it keeps it going. But if I was by myself, I would crash and burn. Or like you said, just be on a tangent about something that no one gives a shit about. So, but yeah, people that do that IRL streaming, power to them. I'm definitely not extroverted enough to keep up with that.
oh yeah, especially with like everybody watching you. Like as you're walking down the street, you're just sitting there like, nah, that's too much. I don't think I could do that either.
But you get the Prime subs or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean the Prime subs might make it worth it, but
no, still can't. Like I mean, I even like gaming. Like we have a gaming channel, and I don't know. It's something about like if I live stream on YouTube, it's one thing. If I do it on Twitch, I feel like I have to be good at something, and I'm not good at gaming. So it's like even over there, I just don't like people watch me. It's like if you're coming to watch something good, you're in the wrong place, man. If you guys want to watch me on YouTube, that's fine. I don't care about YouTube. But I don't know. They're both good. Although I think that a lot of people are at the moment, I think they're kind of going from Twitch to YouTube. So I don't know.
yeah, I've heard Twitch is just really, really strict. It kind of seems to be the main thing that I hear about it. And I don't think I could not swear on stream long enough to not get banned eventually.
No, if that's a requirement, then we'd be fucked.
Yeah, we would be.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be double fucked.
And that's all it takes to get banned from Twitch, guys.
And
He
goodbye.
said double fucked. I'm done.
That's even worse than fucked.
Double ban. But yeah, that's what I hear about them, that they're very PC, and that's just not me. So, sorry, Twitch. You can keep your Prime subs, even though Ethan wants them so bad.
I know. I wish we could do it in some way. I've thought about it. Just ways we could try to leverage content differently. I don't know. See, we struggle to put stuff out. So, like this, like with Patreon, we've been dabbling with like making content kind of like this with us talking and splitting it up differently just to test it. So I don't know, because like making our regular videos is kind of long, and like during the holidays we were super busy, and so it's been a struggle. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why, I mean, it's pretty impressive, having just one person behind it, like on your channel, you're the only one really creating these videos. It's a lot of work, man.
Good on you. I'm the narrator, editor, researcher, everything.
Yeah. Have you ever paid someone to help you or like assist you? Because I saw where like once Southern Cannibal got remonetized, he was already putting out a thing for someone to help him go through stories and stuff. Do you do it all yourself, or do you have anyone help you?
I do it all by myself. I mean, it's crossed my mind before to maybe get somebody to help me out. But the thing is like, I'm just such an independent worker. Like when it comes to really anything, like I don't like to rely on somebody else for something that I want to get done. Like when I set myself out to do something, it's just kind of me, myself, and I until the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I don't do collabs very often. You don't really see me featured on anybody's channels. Like, it's not that I don't get asked, it's just that I always decline. It doesn't matter if the person has 200K or 2K. Like, I'm not a collab type of guy. Not to say that I haven't a few times, because I have. Like with Mr. Ramsey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a big fan of Mr. Ramsey. Like,
Mr. Ramsey's crushing it. He's like him and Mr. Reality are my favorite like smaller channels. So I really
It's
like
like
them.
it's like if Ramsey wants me on a video, I'm gonna be on that video. Same thing with like Swamp Dweller, because Swamp Dweller showed me a lot of support. You know what I mean? Like ever since he found out about my channel, he's just been super supportive. So like if he ever needs something recorded, I'm there. You know what I mean? But as far as like somebody wanting to collab with me for me to grow or for them to grow, like I'm not really with it, if that makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all. Hold up, I gotta change the name of this video. Collab with
Yeah.
Slumber. Hashtag sub.
Sub for sub.
Sub for sub. Oh man.
Help me out! I'm trying to get 10 subscribers.
Oh god.
How long does it take you to make a video now? Like if it's all just you?
A few hours probably.
Yeah.
Roughly. I have a pretty good schedule that works for me. I typically spend one night uploading the video that I made the previous night, as well as, you know, going through my email for good stories, maybe going on to No Sleep, asking some writers for some permissions, you know, things like that. And then the next day I record, edit, render, make the thumbnail, set the tags, description, and everything all in one night.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next day that video goes up, and then I search for more stories. But, you know, typically I'm pretty ahead on stories. Like right now I've got enough stories to probably last me throughout probably January. But it's nice to stay ahead on that. But as far as like recording and editing and everything, like I'm pretty last minute on that stuff. Like I don't really do it ahead. Like when somebody's listening to a video from like the one that just went up 15 minutes ago, it was made last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I totally forgot that I had a video go up 15 minutes ago.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that video. It might get big, man. It might be blowing up. So you don't like nervously like watch over your videos freaking out about views, just let them go up and work on the next one?
I don't know. I mean, like I had a no sleep video like not even a week ago that just kind of completely bombshelled. And you know, the next day I was like, this doesn't even have 1,000 views yet. Like what happened? So it was kind of tough for me to like sit down and be like, I hope this one doesn't do the same thing. You know what I mean? But you know, I mean, you just get through it.
What's your favorite type of video to do?
Ooh, I would say probably sleep paralysis stuff, just because it's like the most relatable for me.
This sounds like a good segue.
Yeah, there. You can talk about it, man.
Let's talk about sleep paralysis. Also, hey, Glorina, it is Bud Light. How's it going? Being basic. So, as far as sleep paralysis, when did it start for you?
When I was 7, and I still recall the experience perfectly.
Oh, tell us, man.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, like I said, I was like 7. All right. I was sleeping in my room by myself, you know, have my own room and everything. And I like woke up in the middle of the night, or at least I thought I woke up. Yeah, you know how that goes. And I was like, I'm really thirsty. So I went to get up so I could go to the kitchen to get a glass of water, but like I couldn't move at all. Like no matter what I did, I couldn't move. So I wound up shifting my eyes to the left off the side of my bed, and I saw like your stereotypical like ET looking alien just standing there, just right next to my bed. And I was trying to open up my mouth to scream for my mom. And as I was trying to open up my mouth, you know, it felt like my jaw was breaking as I was trying to open up my mouth. I'm not sure if you've ever had that before. And as I was doing that, this alien was doing the exact same thing. Like I could hear his like ear-piercing scream. It just sounded like static mixed with maybe like an ocean sound. I don't even know how to explain it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Continue.
Yeah. So, you know, it was just screaming. And then just out of nowhere, just like at the snap of a finger, I was out of it. And, you know, I flew out of that bed, literally jumped to my door. I don't even think I touched my bedroom floor at all, and just ran to my mom's room. And I was like, Mom, there's an alien in my room. And she's like, you're just having a nightmare. And yeah, that kind of sums up most of my early childhood experiences.
God,
but
it's terrifying, man. That gave me chills, just like because I guess I relate to it. But like also when I was a kid, I was terrified of ET, so that would have been horrible. But yeah, the static thing, I've heard like I had that happen a lot, and we made a video about sleep paralysis where I kind of tried to recreate the static, and like sometimes I would hear like kind of voices whispering like over top of each other. One time it sounded like something was talking in Latin, but then like I tried Googling what I heard and it was just gibberish. But yeah, do you still get it pretty frequently?
Pretty frequently, yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm just so numb to it that like I don't think I'll ever really have another experience that freaks me out. I have like 3 throughout my life that really stick out, but then the rest are just kind of like your stereotypical like, oh, there's something standing in the corner, or oh, I'm just, everything is like a weird haze, you know what I mean? Or I'm in my bed, but my scenery looks different type of sleep paralysis, if that makes sense. But yeah, I still get it pretty frequently. I would say maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of depends for me. Like I actually haven't had it in a couple days, but sometimes I'll have it multiple times a night. Sometimes it'll be every night. It just kind of comes and goes. But can you snap yourself out of it?
Yeah, pretty easily.
How do you do it?
My technique is I try and flip my body over in one quick motion.
Gotcha.
Like instead of what I used to do where I'd try and like lift up my arms slowly until eventually like it just snapped out. Like now I just kind of try and toss my body over. And that typically throws me right out.
Yeah, my first time was probably, I don't know, I was probably like, I want to say 14 or 15. And I didn't know what sleep paralysis was. I'd never heard of it. Of course, you didn't either, I'm sure, because I don't think really became known about, or at least talked about, until like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But yeah, like I remember having it, and the first couple times I didn't know what to do. I was just like, why is this happening? Why can't I move? This is really weird. And I recall one time, like I was trying to move and all I could move was like my pointer finger, and I could just kind of wiggle it, and just wiggling it enough would wake me up. But at some point I realized that I could just kind of shake my head and it would knock me out of it like immediately. So at this point, I mean, usually my episodes last just a couple seconds because I can snap myself out of it just by shaking my head. But it's kind of weird. Like sometimes it's almost like I become conscious right before I fall asleep, if that makes any sense. It's almost like I fall asleep, and then as soon as I fall asleep, I'm awake and paralyzed. It's really hard to explain.
No, I can totally relate. It happens to me the most when like I wake up in the middle of the night, and then you toss over or whatever, and then you fall back asleep, and then you just get thrown right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably the most that it happens. Have you ever tried to get into a lucid dream from sleep paralysis before?
Yes. Well, actually, I get through sleep paralysis. I don't know if I've ever had it during sleep paralysis, but I have had lucid dreams before. And really, almost every time I have a dream, I can wake myself up or I become conscious. Because I know lucid dreaming, correct me if I'm wrong, I might have the wrong definition, but that is when you are awake, you're conscious through your dream, you can kind of control what happens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can do that. Like anytime I have a nightmare, I can't tell you the last time I actually experienced a nightmare, because once something kind of weird starts happening, I'm like, all right, this isn't real. But I can't, whereas some people can control it, as soon as I am aware, I wake up. Because
it's something about like the excitement of it, you know what I mean? Because when you realize you're in a dream, you're like, oh, all these possibilities, and then your brain gets like an adrenaline rush, and then it just wakes you right up.
Yeah.
So like the key technique to that is trying to stay as calm as possible. But then if you focus too hard on trying to stay calm, then it's basically the same effect. Just wakes you right up.
Yeah, because I have 2 dreams that I remember that kind of stick out. There was one where I was flying, and I realized it was a dream, and I mean, I probably was able to control it for what felt like a couple minutes, but then I, woke up and I was like, no, I don't want to. And then one time I had a sex dream and I actually became conscious. I was like, this is the best. And then I woke up and I was like, fuck.
The kinkiest.
I know. I'm back to the kinky.
I was just about to say the same thing. That's too funny.
But one thing that does stick out, I don't think this really counts. It's almost more of an out of body experience.
Yeah. You ever had one of those before?
I'll describe what happened to me, and you can tell me, because I considered it more of an experiment than anything. Because people always, when I tell people I had sleep paralysis a lot, they always say, "Oh, did you see the black figures?" And I tell them no, because usually when I have sleep paralysis, my eyes are closed. So I had it one time, like I was having it. It was one of the times where I was having it like over and over and over. And I told myself, okay, when I have it, I'm going to open my eyes and see what I see. And I was conscious. And for one, you probably know it's kind of hard not to want to knock yourself out of it, because when you have sleep paralysis, at least in my case, you kind of have to breathe manually. Like that's why a lot of people apparently feel like they're choking. Like you have to make yourself breathe. And so you have to control that and then also do what you're trying to do. So I'm trying to open my eyelids, and my eyelids feel like they're weighted down. Like you have to use all your strength just to open them. But I open them and I can see my room. I don't really see anything. And then I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if I'll hear anything. And as soon as I thought about hearing things, that's when I heard the static and stuff. So I was like, okay, so that's triggered. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to, put my hand in front of my face, just to see if I can control my body while I'm in sleep paralysis. So I did that, and I put my hand in front of my face. I could see my fingers, and then I put it up to my forehead, and I could feel it touch my forehead. And I was like, okay, well, that was weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and wake up. And I knocked myself out of it, and when I woke up, my hand is still under the blanket where I fell asleep. So everything that happened was a hallucination. Even though I was aware of what I was doing, I wasn't actually seeing it or feeling it, even though I could see my hand, I could feel it on my forehead, but it didn't physically happen. So that's the closest I can consider to being an out-of-body experience. Because I definitely saw it, I definitely felt it, but it wasn't my physical hand. So kind of weird.
Yeah. One of the weirdest cases of sleep paralysis that I've had, and I just think it's a really strange hallucination, even though anybody with any knowledge on the subject has told me, like, no, that is an out-of-body experience, is I had just gotten my own apartment, and it was my first night in there. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but like when my anxiety levels are high, that's typically when I get it, like the most vivid, the most often, so on and so forth. So I was sleeping in my room. I wake up in the middle of the night to sleep paralysis. I know waking up's not the proper term or whatever, but I open up my eyes, and the first thing I see is up in the top corner of my room. Like, if you were to go to the left, down by my feet, that corner, if that makes any sense at all. And there was like this girl coming out of the corner, and it was kind of like the Grudge scene, but not in a sense where it felt like it, but the only way I can explain it is similar to that. Basically, she was coming out of the corner of my room, and she was just eyeballing me. And as she was, coming out of the corner, I felt myself starting to gravitate towards her. Okay. And, I felt myself like lift off of the bed, getting closer and closer and closer. And then right as our noses were touching, I turned around, saw my own body in my bed, and flew down to my own body and woke up.
Dude, fuck that, man. That is crazy.
That is wild.
And everybody that I've told about that is like, no, that was a demon. Like, you don't still live there, do you? And I'm like, no, I don't. But it was the only weird experience I ever had in that apartment, though.
What do you like if you're in the bed with someone else and you have it? Can they tell, or do they even notice, and you're just stuck by yourself?
I get nervous about that stuff because well, when you try and snap out of sleep paralysis, sometimes you just break out. Sometimes you kind of like flop your body over. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you try and flop your body over in sleep paralysis, you actually do. You know what I mean? And it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I was sleeping with my ex-girlfriend, and I was having sleep paralysis, and I forgot that she was there. Just totally forgot that she was there. So when I went to flip myself out, I accidentally punched her in the face.
Oh no.
Luckily, it wasn't that hard. You know what I mean? It was a very limp punch. But
Yeah.
she woke up. She was like, "What the fuck was that for?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." So I had to like explain to her that I get sleep paralysis and stuff. And I mean, she was totally cool about it. Like, she wasn't actually hurt. Like, you know, she was good. But nonetheless, I accidentally punched my at the time girlfriend in the face, and I felt really bad about that for quite a while.
Oh man, that's cool that she's like okay with it and kind of understands. Like I tried to explain to people before that I've been with. It's like, hey, this happens to me sometimes. You're like, oh my god, am I just gonna wake up and you're just gonna be freaking the fuck out? It's like, no. It's like half the time they never even realized it happened. But yeah, I do notice that you were talking about anxiety earlier. I noticed that I do get it more when that happened, like when I am anxious or like I'm on Adderall. And that I usually get it more when I'm, actually taking Adderall. Or the biggest thing, like a guarantee to make it happen, is if I like work early, then I go home and I take a nap, and then I wake up, and then at time to go to sleep, I try to get back to sleep. I'll have it over and over and over. It's ridiculous. But I've had it, like you said, where you can't just snap out, immediately, which sucks. Because then you do kind of panic a little bit sometimes. It's like, fuck. It's like, how long is it going to take me to get out of it? And sometimes I've had to resort to kind of like rolling my head off the pillow, and the impact from, my head falling from the pillow to the mattress will snap me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something else. Like you said, it doesn't bother me, but sometimes it's annoying. Because especially when it's like, all right, as soon as I snap out, I can go back to sleep and have it happen again. So I don't know, but yeah, what is your standpoint on it? Like, Glorina was saying, sleep paralysis is terrifying, but not paranormal. It's your conscious brain trying to defeat your lizard brain.
Conscious brain. I don't know. For me, it just, I don't really think it's paranormal. I wouldn't classify it as. I think it can be. I think there's always the possibility that, I personally believe in the paranormal. And, I get sleep paralysis pretty often. It's not impossible to believe that the two can be crossed from time to time. But that's just the thing with it, is like, you never know if what you're seeing is a hallucination or if it actually is there. You know what I mean? Like with the one that I was just talking about in the apartments. Like that one, I don't know. Like I fully think it's a hallucination, but at the same time, like I'm very open to the idea that it was something more. Because, like I said, like anybody in that field of work, if you will, has told me like, no, that is a demon, like 100%. That doesn't happen during sleep paralysis. You would never get a hallucination where you are actually soaring through your room. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it can be mixed, but it's just hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, I know a lot. I mean, when it comes to people saying, I know the original story is the hag, where it's like sitting on your chest, and that's why you can't breathe or move. Which, again, I think that's just people that aren't realizing they're not breathing because it's like you have to make yourself breathe. That's what I would attribute it to, at least. But as far as the out of body experience, man, that's pretty crazy. It makes me want to experiment with it again. But again, if it happened, I don't know if I'd be too about it anymore. Because the whole little girl in the corner, man, that's pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, I've heard stories of people saying they saw, they saw a person in their room, and it turned out to be their great grandpa they never met, or like they described it to their parents and they knew exactly who it was. But I mean, it's happened to me pretty much everywhere I've lived. So I wouldn't say that it's a particular house that's haunted or anything like that. But who knows? Maybe we have demons following us.
So I will say one thing that can happen during sleep paralysis that is really freaky. I can't remember the proper term for it. I know there is one, but it's basically like a hallucination stain is like the best way that I can explain it. It's where, what you're hallucinating when you wake up and you're actually like fully awake, you know what I mean? Like standing up in your room type of awake. You can still see the hallucination because it's like burned into your brain for a bit before you can fully process it.
Oh, no thanks.
So there's been a couple times where, I've gotten up, I've stood up, and it's still there. and it's like, oh. Then you blink a few times and you can see it kind of disperse as you do so.
Huh. Yeah, that's not cool. Again, most of the time when I have sleep paralysis, my eyes are closed. I don't know why. I don't know why some people's are open. It takes a lot of force for me to open mine, but maybe it's better they stay closed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had sleep paralysis with my eyes closed.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean,
Maybe the next time I get it, I'll try and close my eyes.
Yeah,
see if I could do the opposite.
yeah, it's super weird that mine's like that. I don't know, but again, I'd probably prefer I'd rather not see anything. Like I've heard stuff, and that's enough. But yeah, I'll have to experiment again. And different things can cause it too. Like I've noticed, like sleeping positions can cause it. Like I have a bad habit of sleeping with my head against the headboard. If it's like tilted like that, I'll have sleep paralysis. But I think it's pretty cool that, now everyone seems to know about it. Because like when I first tried explaining it to my family, they thought I was insane.
Yep, same.
They're like, oh,
Same.
he's just paralyzed every now and then when he wakes up. It's like, yeah. But nah, pretty cool, man. It's really cool that you have a lot of experience with it, because again, usually when I talk to people, they're just like, oh yeah, I had it one time. It's like, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert, but I'm about as experienced as can be, to say the least.
That's a field I'm not happy to be experienced in, but it happens. It does make you feel kind of cool. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty good at sleep paralysis. It's like,
yeah,
oh, you can't wake yourself up. Oh man, I remember when I was 12.
It's like my profession. I want to get a job in it someday.
Have you ever thought about doing a sleep study?
No, nah.
People used to tell me that all the time. They're like, oh, you should do a sleep study, and I'm curious. Like, I want them to learn more about it, but at the same time, I also don't want to pay for it. So,
Wouldn't
you
they
don't
pay
have
you for
that
it?
insurance anymore, man.
I know. So, I don't know. I don't even know where to get it done. But anyway, what's your next topic, Ethan? That we talked about that for a while.
Well, we'll just segue into, do you have any irrational fears or phobias after dealing with that for so long?
I have one irrational fear, okay? And like I'm pretty good about stuff. Like I'm not afraid of the dark. You could probably put me in the Amityville house for a night by myself, and I'd just be like, whatever. You know what I mean? As long as I don't have anybody else to worry about. If I hear some blood curdling scream and I know that nobody else is harmed, it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna get some sleep. Like this is just annoying. But the one thing that's really, really, really does freak me out, and it's so irrational, is millipedes. Millipedes and centipedes. Can't do them. Cannot do them.
What is it about? Is it the feet, or just like the
it's just
pictures, or just in general?
It's just everything about it. Like it is the one thing. If I see one, I'm gone. Like I turn into the Flash. Like I'm out.
So let me tell you a story then. So Ethan probably saw it. He probably knows what I'm about to say. But earlier this year, so I have a dog, and I got her 8 months ago. Well, it's probably 6 months ago, and she eats bugs. That's just her thing. Well, one day I was sitting on the couch, and I saw her go after a little beetle, and I was like, oh well, whatever, kill it. And then I saw something else out of the corner of my eye, and I promise my house is not bug infested. It just happened to have this, but it looked like a caterpillar or a baby snake, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So I run over, and it's a giant millipede. And I mean, it's like hard shelled, segmented, and the thing's probably about like yay big, like yay long. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I know. So I go again, and I got a cup, and I like put it in there, and the thing's like freaking out. It's giant. I'm like, what is this? So I start Googling it. And apparently in Virginia, and there's two versions, one in Virginia and like one on the West Coast. But it's a millipede that actually releases arsenic from it when it's in a compromising position, and it's enough to kill 12 pigeons according to Google. And I was like looking at my puppy at the time. I was like, 1 pigeon, 2 pigeon, 3 pigeon, 4 pigeon. Yeah, that'll kill it. So I don't know how it got in there. They said they're usually in the woods, like in the mountains, like the Appalachian Mountains, whatever. And
I'm never gonna live anywhere near the Appalachian Mountains now, ever. I'm good. That's
yeah,
good on you for
in my
trapping
life-
it, because I would have just burned the house down, to be honest. But
Oh god, if I'd seen more than one, I probably would have. It's like, man, because like whenever I see a bug, I'm like, there's got to be more of them. But this one, luckily, I have never seen another one, nor had I ever seen one before that. So it was a big one. But yeah, so there's your little nightmare fuel for tonight.
It's also like a adult nightmare fuel when you realize that you're on your own to deal with this shit yourself. Like, oh fuck, this is in my house. I can't call anyone right now. I have to deal with this right now.
Yeah, 'cause whenever I see something, it's like the first thought is I really don't want to deal with this. The second thought is if it finds another one, it's going to make more of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to take care of this. But I have graduated from when I was younger, I had to smush it. Now I just spray it with bug poison. So I feel like it's a more adult way to kill my problems.
a more adult way to kill my problems. I like that line. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
And bug poison.
I also had
Sometimes both.
Yeah, I also had a giant spider one time that I Googled, and it turns out it was a spider that eats fish, which, holy fuck.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. And not big fish, of course, but like, small fish. But it was like they're usually found in rivers, but sometimes they're found far away from rivers. And it's like, okay, that's the whole world. But the thing was huge. Like I was on my bed, and across the room, I saw it out the corner of my eye moving. I was like, what is that? And again, I didn't want to ruin a good shoe, so I just sprayed it with bug poison, and it crawled under my washing machine, and I have never seen it again. I assume it's still under there. Dead, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, spiders don't get to me, which is kind of surprising because, you would think like, oh, a centipede or a spider, like which one's scarier? But like a spider, I can hold it in my hand. I'm totally fine. I don't care. Like it doesn't bother me at all. Like you could put a tarantula on my face and I'd just be like, why is it on my face? You know what I mean?
No.
But when it comes to a centipede, I am good.
What about snakes? Since they're kind of similar, how do you feel about them?
Snakes don't bother me at all.
So it's the legs.
Yeah.
Legs.
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you want to be technical, I guess I've never really looked at it that way. I've never. I guess yeah, it would be the legs.
Well, at least you're more accepting than I am. Anything over 4 for me, I'm not a big fan of. At least you're like 8 is fine. 200, fuck it. No, I'm not dealing with 200.
To me, it's the size, like the size of like what snakes could be. Like if I had that in my house, I'd be like, oh, super fuck. But like centipede, millipede, like the size of them, like even with the legs, I mean, they're still not the biggest, so they're manageable. So.
But they also bite. Like I think they said that like the millipedes are more like likely to bite you than a spider. Like just because they're just
Fuck that. Don't tell me that. I gotta live on my own right now.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
I don't live that far from you. There's probably some in my house right now.
That's not right behind you, no.
Yeah.
At any given time, you're 8 feet away from a spider. So another food for thought. It really sucks when you're on a king size bed because, like, man, half of that 8 foot is the bed, so it's probably on the bed.
Yeah, Blake's just flexing right now. My
Okay.
king size bed over here, California king. It's a nice life.
Don't they say that like you wind up eating? I think it's like 16 spiders through your sleep or whatever a year.
I've heard that. I've heard it's a myth. I hope it's a myth, but I have heard that. I've also heard that if you were to like excavate your ear canal, you would find a lot of bugs, which is worse, I think. Ugh. I don't know.
The spider thing is a myth, like that you swallow spiders. It was originally done as a study to see how fast false information spreads. So they started that and they measured it. Like I forget which city they started it in to see how long it would take to get to the east or west coast, and it didn't take long. That was before the internet. So now with like the whole Facebook and everything, like fake stuff can spread really fast and rumors and everything. So
yeah, I mean, now all it takes is just a tweet.
yeah, there you go. So
All right, I'm done talking about bugs and spiders
Yeah. So, what kind of equipment do you use?
to kill.
Ooh. All right, you ready for this? I have
Sure.
the absolute best computer in the world. It is a $100 Toshiba laptop from 2011.
Yeah.
How it still works? How it still works? I have no idea. No, yeah, I don't know. As far as the computer goes, I have a really cheap laptop. Like I said, it's actually terrible. I want to upgrade it eventually. But for a mic, I use a AT2020 Plus Audio Technica USB, and it's a pretty solid mic. It's done me pretty well.
Is that what
I've
you're
had it
using
for-
right now? Or
Yes,
you
unless
sound really good.
unless I'm accidentally using the laptop mic, which I forgot to check earlier.
No,
No,
Okay.
you sound really good right now.
So it's probably the good one. I do that sometimes. I'll use my regular mic on accident. It just sounds garbage.
Now, I've actually recorded like 1 or 2 videos on my laptop mic and didn't know it. And I'm like, why is the audio so shitty? But I've been trying to fix it in like the editing stuff. Then I realized like the next time I was editing, I recorded it wrong. So that's why Blake records most of our stuff.
Oh, that's the worst. I know. Oh, what was it? It was a while ago now, but I had this night where I was just feeling really, really ambitious, and I was like, I'm just gonna record like 4 videos tonight. Like I'm just gonna go off. So I recorded 2.5 hours of audio, got completely done, and I was like, oh, that was a really good recording. Like, not too many mistakes, like pretty solid. And then I went to go edit it, and then I realized I did the whole entire thing on my computer mic, the whole thing.
My God, 2 hours.
Yeah.
I
wound up
15 minutes and I almost killed myself.
So I wound up like I kind of like looked away as I pressed the delete button. I was like, no, not this way.
Oh,
But
that sucks.
otherwise, if I didn't delete it right away, I would have been tempted to just be like, oh, it'll be fine.
Oh,
But
man. Again, I would have killed myself or at least deleted the channel. At least. That's heartbreaking, man. Like you feel so good about something and then it's like I just wasted 2 hours of my life.
crazy thing is, I went back and redid the whole entire thing right after with almost no hesitation.
Did you say you
Damn.
weren't on Adderall?
I was not. I was completely sober that night. Maybe a little bit of weed, but other than that, completely sober.
God, like my attention span is awful when it comes to recording. Like I have trouble going back and editing 10 minutes of me talking. And I mean, I do mess up a lot. Like I get tongue tied, but God, 2 hours. That's heartbreaking. That's good that you went back and fixed it though, because I definitely would have quit for the ever.
Forever. Retired.
Oh man, they're still talking about spiders in the chat. Priorities. But yeah, as far as equipment though, like your mic does sound really good. We're still using the Yetis, which really, I mean, it's done us a lot of good.
I think the AT2020 and the Yeti are supposed to be very comparable, but the main difference between the two is like the AT2020 is just I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think like editing audio off of an AT2020 is a lot better, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, you sound really good. You sound like I'm talking to you right now. It's impressive. That's one reason why I wanted to ask, because it's really nice and your videos sound good. So I don't know. I always think mine sounds. I don't know if it's the whole like when you edit yourself or whatever, you think it sounds bad, but I think mine sounds bad.
I don't know. The AT2020 is a very slept on mic because people always say like, oh, you have such good audio quality. Like, you must have like a really expensive mic. And I'm like, no, it was like $150 on Amazon. Just an AT2020. I know Clancy Pasta uses the same mic as well.
Really? That's really cool. I know like Swamp and Mr. Davis use like more expensive mics. I don't even remember what they are off the top of my head.
It's like the Rode NT1.
Yeah, I knew it was Rode something. So,
but really, I mean, I have looked at those a lot, but the price is insane. And it's like, man, I can't. It's not enough difference for me to buy it yet. I will eventually, but not yet. So everyone out there that wants to do things, you can get $100, $150 mic and it sounds good. I think it does. Tariq Jones asks, how do you not lose your voice from recording as often?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like, how do you keep your voice sounding consistent too? Because even with me, like if I'm recording something, it's hard for me that if it's really long for it to stay consistent, like the right flow. And if you're like recording hours of stuff, like how do you manage that?
I guess I've never really thought about it.
Don't think about it then. Let's pass the question. Don't overthink that.
Little bit, that was the end of this channel. Everything just went downhill.
And now the last half of my videos sound terrible.
Oh god. But yeah, like I'm a very introverted person, so I don't talk very much. Like I fake being an extrovert sometimes, but like I don't talk much. So sometimes by the end of a script, I'm like kind of hoarse. I have to go get some water and revitalize my vocal cords. But
I suppose I do that sometimes, but not because my voice is getting hoarse, just because like I kind of just want a break from talking. I don't know. Like I'll typically record maybe half an hour-ish, and then I go outside and smoke a cigarette, drink a bit of water, come back to it. It's kind of how I've always done it, which you would think would make my audio sound worse if I'm smoking a cigarette in between sessions, but kind of always been that way.
Welcome back.
Hey guys, time for story 4.
Like the rock star narrator.
Welcome back. No.
It sounds better.
Oh man, where are we at, Ethan? I'm sorry.
All right, it's towards the end. Hey, do you have any goals for 2019 after like the hell of the year? Like, what were your goals for 2018? Because you had the whole like getting demonetized. Do you ever think about it? Do you set stuff? Do you focus on the numbers, or do you just like it's whatever?
See, I don't know. Like I'm not the type to focus on numbers, but at the same time, like if I don't set a goal for myself, like some type of goal, I'll find myself slacking. Yeah. So I set number goals for myself just for the simple fact that it'll keep me even more motivated. My goal for 2018 was to hit 20,000 subs, which I did. My goal for 2019 is 100K, and
get that plaque.
if I don't have a plaque by Christmas next year, no. I don't know. That's the goal though. Just I plan on staying consistent with the 30-minute videos every other day, and seeing if I can get to that 100K mark. If I don't, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not like I'm going to be upset or anything. You know what I mean? But it'd be pretty cool if I could pull it off. If not, it's all good.
No, I think you can.
That'd be a huge achievement, man. Like,
but you're killing it though. Like, just seeing like when you posted talking about your numbers, like when you had come back, like that's so crazy. But that's awesome. That's cool that you're able to do it. And just, I mean, there's so much potential right there. It's good that you're having such good just like reinforcement or positivity, just like keeping you going. Because I'd be shitting my pants if I went through all the stuff you went through and been scared to like get restarted on everything. So
thank you. I don't know. I mean, one thing that like, I try not to think about too much, but at the same time, like it is a very big motivational thing, especially for right now, is, I started off New Year's of 2018. I had 12,000 subs, just barely. I did not post a single video from January, February, and I posted my first one at the end of March. So for basically 3 months, I didn't post a single video this year. When I came back, my first video got, I think it was like 96 views within the first 2 days. My second video got like 80. My third one got like 300. My fourth one got like 200. It was just like that, you know what I mean? And everybody's like, dang, like Ryle at the time really, really fell off. Like, he had 12,000 subs. He was getting like a few K a video, comes back and he can't even break 300. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I kind of told myself, like, I have an idea. Like, if I just post long videos, just, put a little bit more heart into it and just see where this can go. And I brought it from 12K to, I think it was like 29K when I got demonetized. And then for those 4 months that I was demonetized, I didn't gain a single sub, not even one. I got demonetized at, I think it was like 29,840. When I got remonetized, I was at 32,000 because of that video that blew up. But 3 days prior to that, I was still at 29,840.
Yeah.
So basically for 7 months of 2018, I didn't grow at all, and I still managed to gain 20K. So I think 100K in 2019 is realistic, so long as YouTube doesn't poop on my parade again.
Still, that's your story is just so insane. If you ever hit 1 million subscribers, you should do like either a book or just like a long ass video about it, because it's fucking interesting how you're just able to have this roller coaster ride. It's insane.
What is 10% of 100,000K YouTube salary? Well, I shouldn't say 10. We might hit 15 in the next 10 minutes. But yeah, that's just insane. The fact that, you know, it just stagnated like that, that's pretty shitty. It tells me a lot about YouTube's algorithm, or, you know, what they do push and what they don't. But
our growth has always been slow and steady. Like if we've had a collaboration, we'll get a push from that. But other than that, it's literally we've averaged like 350 subs a month for like a year. And sometimes if we have a collaboration, we'll get like 500 subs that month, but it's never anything. Or if we had a video that does like really well where it syncs up in the algorithm, we'll get more. But it's always like we've never had a huge growth spurt. Like it's always just slow and steady.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that for me for a long time as well. You know, it was typically for me, it was like anywhere from 800 to 900 a month for like the longest time. I mean, for like forever, you know what I mean? And then all it takes is one video to blow up, and then, you know, that video will push another video to blow up, you know, so on and so forth. It just kind of goes like that. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're just having these fluctuations in numbers where one day you're gaining like 90, the next day it's like, oh, 560, cool. And then the next day is like 80, and it's like, oh no, it's starting to die. And then it's like, oh, 600, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I don't know.
I hate when we only get 200 subs a day.
That's been rare.
Like, man, fucking Mondays. Nah, I'm just excited that we get any subs every day. Like it didn't used to be like that. And like on our side channel, I kind of got butthurt about that. Like we have we have a gaming channel, and I tried an experiment where I just posted a video every single day for, I think it was like 60 days, and I gained like 20 subs, and I was like, this is not worth it. So YouTube's a very interesting beast.
So do you promote your videos any, or just on Twitter? Like you release them and post them on Twitter, or do you do anything else to try to get them out there? Or do you just hope for the algorithm to put it along?
It's always been just, you know, trying to work with the algorithm and then posting it on Twitter, which I don't know. I mean, like in my earlier days, Twitter helped me out a lot, but, you know, considering how far I've shifted from like, you know, where I was to where I am now, I mean, Twitter's kind of not really much of a go-to for promotion at all. But I mean, it is, but it isn't. Basically right now I just try and stick with trying to work out the algorithm and staying consistent and hoping that videos don't flop.
Yeah. Do you have Teresa asked, do you get less views on holidays? Like Swamp told us before that he has the theory that like during the holidays, like during summer and when kids are off from school, people have more time to watch YouTube, and he thinks that's a better time than like October when people are really pushing like scary paranormal stuff. Do you think the holidays matter, or do you think it's the same, or do you not notice anything?
I don't know, because like last summer was kind of like, you know, my real growth spurt was last summer. So I think summer has a better chance of things, you know, going in your favor. But as far as like uploading on a holiday, I don't really know. I don't think I've ever really seen a difference. Like my Christmas special did pretty good, but at the same time, it was a long video that would have done probably the same numbers even if it wasn't a Christmas video. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because of how long it was. So like, you know, the longer the video is, the more it gets pushed. But I don't really know. I don't think I've ever seen much of a difference. I will say that if you're uploading videos at like 3 a.m. in the morning, it's probably not going to work out very well. But yeah, other than that, probably the same.
We usually release around 10 a.m. and that seems to be all right. We've released later in the day and it didn't perform as well. So it's very picky. But I have also heard that like December is one of the best months for YouTubers. I don't know if it's because of like people on vacation or what. They say that's like one of the best paying months. So
Yeah, it's because everybody's trying to get their ads out for Christmas. And
that's
everybody
true.
wants to buy their product. So there's a plethora of ads on YouTube. So
Makes sense. Didn't think about that.
yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Especially
Dude.
TikTok, man. They're trying to sell their product. Fucking TikTok, man. We'll have to make a video about that sometime.
Strangest TikTok things. Top 5. Let's go.
The
So what do you think? Do you have any advice for other channel, like smaller channels or people wanting to start on YouTube after everything you've gone through? Do you think it's still worth it to try YouTube, or should people not do their dreams?
I think everybody should definitely give it a shot. Because you never know what's going to happen. And, I've seen a lot of people come on and be like, oh, I want to be a horror narrator, and like, I'll be like, yeah, just, here's a bit of advice. Just have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, here's a good way to set your tags. Titles like this work, because they're always asking me for advice. So like, I'll try and help them out. And, sometimes people, they post their first 2 or 3 videos, they don't get views, and then they just quit. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? But then sometimes you also get people that stick around and start killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Ramsey's a good example of that. Mr. Ramsey's killing it right now. And it's because, he's consistent. Like you can tell he likes what he does. So like the best advice I can give is if you're going to do YouTube, make sure it's something that you want to do. Don't go into it with the expectation that you're going to get paid from it eventually. Don't go into it, thinking that, you're going to be the next David Dobrik or something. You know what I mean? Just have fun with it. And, if things work out, they work out. If not, it's okay. And you shouldn't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I always tell people the first 100 is like the worst. So you got to get past that. Because, at first, you can't put out a video when you have 0 subscribers and expect to get a lot of views because no one's getting notified about your video.
Right.
It definitely takes, you have to keep pushing. And, Ethan, he used Reddit a lot to promote our videos when we were, small. He still does. But when we were small, it helped a lot because otherwise it wasn't likely we were going to rank very high on most searches. So, but there's different ways of getting your content out there. Just if you start, just keep on going.
I think the main thing is
of footage and fuck it up, then quit.
Like if you're making content that you like to make as well, I think it shows in the content. Like no matter what kind of content it is, like a positive attitude will always transfer into the video and people will come back for more.
Definitely. Because you are giving a piece of yourself like in each of your videos. So if you put it out and you obviously don't care, why would you expect someone else to care about it?
Exactly.
So subscribe to The Strangest, guys. We put out the worst shit. You just hear me like mad about reading a script for the 6th time.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Slumber. I guess I got to record another video today. God.
Bad Vibe Storytelling said Slumber told me to quit because I suck. If at first you don't succeed, always quit.
Bad Vibes is good shit. Me and him are always giving each other crap.
Yeah.
No Soul Wolf said I'm at 75 subs and it does feel like it's dragging, but I'm going to keep pushing. Definitely keep pushing. Yeah. Again, that first 100 took forever, it seems. Like I can't remember how. I think we got there relatively fast in the long run, but it felt like forever. But just keep going because it's kind of like a snowball. Like you have to kind of build it up. Or rather, that's not a good analogy. Putting a snowball down a hill, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to gain more momentum as you get bigger. But it's just getting to that point. And I think a lot of people fall off before the 100 because they get discouraged.
Or even the 5,000. Also, like to me, like the slowest part is like right before like you see a milestone coming. It just seems like everything slows. Like us coming to 5,000 has been really slow. But like if you're 25 away from 100, here's a YouTube hack that I like to do is I like to comment on people's videos a whole lot and like tally it. And just like as long as I watch it and like comment something relative, I'll get at least 10% of those people are going to convert to subscribers. Like they're going to check out my channel. So if you like comment 250, watch 250 videos, just go kill it. I'll get to you 100. That's your weekend.
I saw somebody called you out. They're like, "Why did you comment on my video?"
They subscribed.
Did they?
They did. I told them like, "Oh, you watched this? I found you off of this video. This is what we do. Check it out." And tell them the playlist to watch. They like.
Doesn't matter. Got a sub.
Yeah,
that's something else. Like, you know, I'm not saying that it's always the case, but if you want to grow on YouTube, there always has to be at least some level of hustle. And, you know, maybe that's wrong of me to think that, but I think there kind of has to be.
I think you have to hustle without expectation. You can't like build it up in your head. Like if you have a collaboration, don't think that's going to make you super successful either. You just make the best of it. If you have a collaboration, do everything you can to be like proactive, like comment on, like reply to comments, try to talk to as many people as you can. They're actually watching it, but don't think you're just going to like blow up overnight. Because I mean, you'll just get disappointed usually 9 times out of 10. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, like a healthy hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a hustle that's not harming anybody.
Yeah. Don't threaten to kill people for subs.
Come fucking sub to me right now.
Here's
shit's garbage. Like my stuff. Like, comment, subscribe.
This guy's terrible. I make better videos.
Here's a garbage thing I found out a couple months ago. And this is probably common knowledge, but like on the side channel, it was like a big game had come out and like all the big gamers were playing it. And I had this theory that I posted on there, like in their comments. And I was like, I wonder if this will get the side channel any views. And I have like a bunch of old YouTube accounts that I don't use anymore. I was like, I'm going to upvote this comment and just see if anything happens. So I got like 5 upvotes on the comment, and every post that I put it on went up to like 300 upvotes. Just because it was getting those, I guess, those 5 boosts up. So, I mean, I'm not saying do that, but you could do that. Get your name out there. But at least make it a good comment. Don't be like sub to me.
Well, I've heard that like supposedly in the algorithm of comments, the more likes you get, the better it'll rank and stuff. So it would help your channel out too if you comment. So like I've gotten some like good likes. I haven't fake liked it though, but and we'll go to the extreme, Blake. That's only for Reddit when I try to get those fake upvotes.
Dude, so. I was posting 60 videos. I wanted someone to see that channel. I was like, I deserve this, damn it. You know how many horror games I had to like suffer through to get 20 subs? My heart, it's like lost 20 years at least. So, but anyway, weird flex again. Yeah. Anyway.
So, where else can people find you besides YouTube? You're on Twitter, anywhere else, or is it just YouTube and Twitter?
Literally nowhere else. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Snapchat. Don't have Facebook. I mean, I have a personal Facebook, but I'm not really interested in handing that out. So, you know, just Twitter and YouTube. That's really it.
That's keeping it simple.
They're the best ones. I mean, really, like Instagram is kind of garbage.
I fucking hate Instagram. I post there for us, but like to me, like it's people just wanting to follow for follow. That's all we run into. So
I've never been on Instagram.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's another Facebook thing. That's stupid.
It's like pictures, isn't it?
Yeah. You can do videos, and they have a whole Instagram TV thing that was supposed to be like competitor to YouTube, and that was garbage. And it's all just literally disappointments. Facebook, I can't stand Facebook and Instagram. They piss me off.
Yeah, and I mentioned it before. The thing that really gets me is like you'll post a video and you'll get like say 20 likes, but it shows you how many views you got, and it's like you got 5 views. So it's like people just like your shit, so you'll follow them or like them back.
It's all artificial, so it's inflated metrics, and I've seen where like Facebook has gotten called out for like doing the whole bloated metrics thing so they can get more ads. So like encourages you to buy ads and stuff for your page or your whatever you're trying to promote. So they'll make you think it's doing well. And I think it's all fluff. Like where at least YouTube has, so it's more real, and they'll definitely slap you back down into place, take away subscribers and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think about what was it, like 2 weeks ago now, when YouTube deleted a bunch of subs from
Yeah.
everybody's channels?
We just lose subs anyway, so we were just like, oh, Tuesday.
Well, we were really fortunate when it happened. That weekend it happened, we had a collaboration with Don't Turn Around where we were on their channel, and then we had Amy's Crypt on here, which helped us. And then we also had a Swamp Dweller video come out that we like Blake was on, so we didn't notice it. We did actually better, so we did really well. So
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, we got really lucky.
I lost like 80. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
God, and I hear some people saying like when they do purges like that, they'll lose hundreds. And it's like I would be so depressed.
Oh
Again,
man, okay, so get this right. The very, very, very first YouTube purge that I remember happened the same day that I hit 1,000 subs.
Oh no.
And it dropped me down to 820.
Fuck.
And the sad thing is, like, you know, I don't know if you guys remember like the whole entire controversy between this. It was like mid 2015, I believe. A lot of the subs that were removed from people's channels were actually people like that were still subscribed and watching and everything. So when that happened, like a bunch of my friends got unsubscribed. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally just hit 1K like 20 minutes ago, and now I have 820. Like that sucked.
Dude,
luckily I wound
shit,
up,
man. And you keep coming, man. You're like the horror movie character that's just like still alive at the end, bleeding out, but still walking along.
I'm still here. Don't forget about me, please. Put my heart into this.
No, that you're motivational just hearing all this stuff. That's crazy, man.
The Slumber channel is forever known as the cockroach of the horror community, and not because it's bad, but because it just doesn't die.
Just keeps going. It's a little
like,
like
as soon as you think it's over, it comes back better every time.
We're like lemmings. We're just looking for a cliff to jump off of. It's like, give us a way out. Way out. We're gone. It's good while it lasted. Bye, guys.
No, not the kinkiest.
Yeah, you'll know when the strangest is gone because the kinkiest will pop up immediately. It's like, all right, let's sell out. It's going to be good.
All Adam and Eve reviews.
Oh, man. I did think of a new series that I want to do, but it's not the kinkiest. We'll have to do it. I wanted to start doing, I maybe even mentioned this before. As soon as a new horror movie comes out, I want to watch it, and then I want us to just go at it about it. Like one person defend it, one person like shit talk on it, and just have like a debate.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Like I had an idea for October to do like Slashtober, where just like do a slasher video, like movie a day and review it. But then I thought like that would kind of take us away from like what we usually do. And if we did that many videos, then we might grow like the wrong kind of, I don't know. But it'd be cool to do it every so often because there's some good stuff out there and supposedly some good movies coming out this year for like horror.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Pet Sematary. I think the movie's gonna be garbage, but I read the book and it was the first book that literally creeped me the fuck out. So
wait, are they making a new Pet Sematary movie?
Yeah, it's coming out in like March or April. So
I didn't know that. I still have yet to watch the original. I know there was like a lot of controversy when that movie came out. I believe so. Anyways, I think I'm thinking of the right movie. I might not be.
Man, the book though, like the whole thing where it gets really real with the whole death thing and dealing with stuff, and the whole thing, like I really like Stephen King. Now I've been reading it now as an adult. When you realize like a lot of stuff is like a father type figure where you're like the head of the household, and you kind of just have to deal with this shit yourself. Like you have no one else to turn to. It's all up to you, and you're pretty much fucked. So it's a lot easier to relate to than when I like read Stephen King when I was like a teenager. So I don't know. It's like, what would you do in this situation? I don't know.
Bad Vibes said Us looks good. I've seen a couple like teaser images for it. I haven't seen the trailer, but from what I've seen, it looks interesting.
Yeah, we got that and It Part 2.
Is that this year?
Yeah, It Part 2 is in September.
Damn. And then
supposedly Conjuring 3. I don't know if that's going to be that exciting, but
I think The Conjuring is overrated.
I like
Who said that? No.
I like the first two. and the second Annabelle. But I think The Nun, like people were really freaking out saying The Nun was a good movie, and I saw it on one like film reviewers worst films of 2018. I really think The Nun was a bad movie. Like it was garbage.
It wasn't terrible. One of my friends, he went to the premiere. Like he actually like watched the movie with all the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, it's so good. Like when it comes out, you need to go watch it." And he was like hyping it up for like a month. So then it finally dropped in theaters for the public, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went and saw it and I was like, "Dude, this movie's terrible. Like this movie's bad." He was like, "It's like, no, it's not."
Yeah,
That'd be an experience to have though. If you got to see it and all that with all the people. I mean, I would probably think it was good at that point too. So
yeah. He did the same thing with the babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does he get to do this? Who's this guy?
he lives in LA, so like he's just mad connected.
Yeah.
He actually flew out to Minnesota last August to come hang out with me for a couple weeks, and that was pretty cool. Made some videos together and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, have you thought about joining like a MCM or like the Protector channel, or like are you still independent? Like how would that affect like the demonetization stuff?
You know, it's kind of strange because my channel was partnered with what was it? Scale Lab, I believe. And my channel randomly got like discontinued from it, and I don't know why. I didn't really care though because I wanted to get off of their thing anyways. And then I applied for, I think it was full screen, and I got denied. And then the next day I got demonetized.
Damn.
Yeah. So like I'm kind of scared to ever try and partner my channel again with anything.
Why were you denied from full screen? Like I've heard like so many channels get partnered with full screen.
I have no idea. I'm guessing just because it's a horror channel.
Yeah. No. When our monetization, like when we were first able to monetize, it was like in February of 18, but we didn't get approved until July or like the end of June. And at that point, we were thinking about like if we should partner or not, because I really didn't think it was going to come with all the stuff that was happening. And we knew people that were like partnered with full screen, and they're at least getting like some like money from it. It's not about the money though. To me, it was more like I didn't know how our videos were doing since we didn't get like the yellow or green thing showing like whether it would be demonetized or not. And our content's still kind of iffy. So I like the idea of knowing what it was. So
yeah, I think a lot of people kind of overplay the yellow dollar signs, to be completely honest. Because I think I've only ever maybe had like 3 or 4 videos get like solely demonetized.
Yeah.
I mean, excluding my whole entire channel, but you know, but
we've had videos of Flickr, and it's really strange. Like it'll be green, then it'll be yellow, then it'll be green, and then like by the next day it'll be like a solid either green or yellow. But it's like it makes me think I'm going crazy. It's like I swear I saw this was yellow, then it's green, then I come back to it, and I'm like, what is YouTube doing? So I don't know.
I had one video do that once as well. I think YouTube is just collectively broken.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think YouTube knows what YouTube is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see year rewinds 2019?
That's true.
I am so proud of this community.
God. Let's read the comments. Let's give YouTube what we really want. It's like, God. But I just saw where YouTube tweeted that out. They were like, oh yeah, we broke a record. Oh wait, it's like literally the most disliked video on the platform. Like how embarrassing.
Let's take a moment for women and working moms. It's like working moms are women. What?
Man.
God. Yeah, I hated that part. It was just like, oh, can we just recognize everyone that's not a white man? I was like, okay, YouTube, we get it. It's like, and that's fine. Like, I understand promoting everyone, but I mean,
yeah.
It's like YouTube year in review. They didn't have PewDiePie. They didn't have anything major that happened. Like all the big things that happened weren't in there. But I did see where one of the animation channels like added PewDiePie's chair.
Yeah,
and that would, yeah, she's pretty good. I started looking into her, and like she also had on like the back of the thing. It was like a sub and then a 2 and then to a P. I was like, sub to PewDiePie. I was like, that's pretty cool. But like YouTube's so out of touch. I didn't know half the people in there. It's like the only person I really recognized was like Casey Neistat.
Marquez
They had him
Brown,
in some
man.
stupid shit. I don't even know who that is. I knew Will Smith, but it's like
Will Smith is my favorite YouTuber.
Yeah, it's like I don't get me wrong, I love Will Smith, but what the fuck does he have to do with YouTube?
Have you seen Jack Black's video that he's introduced his gaming channel? He has PewDiePie's share in it. It's like a 30-second video.
No, I hadn't seen that. But
yeah, he's making a gaming channel, and he's already got 3 million subs off of a 30-second video.
That's depressing.
Actually, what do you guys think about all these famous actors and famous people coming onto YouTube?
I think it legitimized the platform. I think it also commercializes it more. I also think though, they're also kind of being pushed because there's one video like talking about Casey Neistat. Like there was one video like a year ago where he shouted out like this guy who worked with his wife. He was also like a model on the side in New York City, and he was like, I'm going to shout out this guy because they have to have at least 100,000 Instagram followers to be a model now. So I think that might be like what it's getting to be a star. Like you have to have a certain amount of like clout or community to like help guarantee like you as a bankable star. So that's why you see like Will Smith kind of reinventing himself, now Jack Black. You can see other people moving into the space, like where they're pushing it, like today, like Casey Neistat had Tony Hawk on his channel, so it's almost becoming like old media. I also think it's kind of shitty how you see like the talk show hosts and everything getting pushed, but at the same time, it's legitimized. Like I can't say that word, making the platform more legitimate. So I don't know.
I don't know. It just feels really. It's becoming too commercial, in my opinion. Like back in my day, YouTube, there was no famous people. It was just the people from the platform.
It was just Fred.
Yeah, it was just Fred, Nika Higa, and Shane Dawson, and only one of them still is relevant.
Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham was the first person I ever knew from YouTube, and he actually escaped the platform. So,
but the thing that really pisses me off, yeah. But the thing that pisses me off is that like. What's his name? Not Jimmy Fallon. Who's the other one? They're all Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
He like talks whenever he has like a YouTuber on his show. He talks down to them. Like he makes YouTube sound like a hobby, is more than it actually is a legitimate job for some people. I mean, like the top people are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he just kind of really talks down to them and everything. Yet, he's always on YouTube as far as like his show clips being promoted. And I just feel like that's what YouTube wants. Like YouTube wants to become, it basically wants to become its competition. It wants to become mainstream, and it's, focusing less on the original creators and focusing more on the big corporations and personalities, which is good for them, I guess. But I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think when it comes to like YouTube and jobs, so to speak, like there's so many misconceptions, because a lot of people think that everybody that gets onto YouTube is doing it because they want to make it a job, which is not the case. Like it's just not. But then there's also like people think like, when YouTube is somebody's job, they're like, oh, but that's not a real job. And it's like, yes, it is. Like, how is it not? You know what I mean? Like just because they're not punching a clock doesn't make it illegitimate. Yeah, I don't know, like that whole entire atmosphere and train of thought is something I've never really been able to follow too well.
Yeah. Also, back to the rewind, there was one thing that popped out in my head. The part where they're talking about like how far they've come with like regarding mental illness, and they didn't mention Logan Paul's suicide video. It's just like, think about how far we've come, and then just cut to this Japanese forest. I am glad they didn't have him in there.
So I have a conspiracy theory about. Also, I think I had this on the outline. I don't know if I remember asking if you had a favorite conspiracy or one you believed in, but there was all right. My conspiracy is like, if you don't know Gary Vaynerchuk, he's like an ad agency guy. He also has a channel, and he's big. He's a multi-millionaire. He started with like a wine library TV thing. but he also pushes a lot of channels. And like Casey Neistat is with Gary V, Peter McKinnon, a lot of smaller channels, and they're all kind of like almost like a platform themselves, or at least a network. And you almost say like Casey Neistat's 368 is all like headed by Gary V. But like he like in 2017 or into 2016 in his book, he was talking about how like he thinks mental health is going to be the next big trend. You almost think some of the biggest trends are almost already like manufactured, how they're going to have it come out and be like a topic and then push it through like these large channels. And like I can't think of that company that people like H3 got in trouble for promoting them, that people like signed up. They were going to have like psychologists, but they weren't really licensed or whatever, but they made people pay like $200 or something. And or the YouTubers got $200 if they signed up someone. So
you're talking about Better Health.
Yeah, Better Health. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a YouTuber today pushing that. I thought that was pretty much over, but no, they're still
really
wanted that $200 a sign up, man.
Yeah, it's insane. Like there was a whole thing about it. I remember, like they were saying, like you said, like they weren't qualified, or it was super easy to become, like to pretend you were qualified, or I don't know. It's just, I mean, I guess you can't fault the YouTubers. I guess like it pays well, but then they're like, I use this personally, it's great, and
it's like no, you don't. But, no, yeah, I mean all these sponsored deals are something I've always been very, very skeptical about, because you never really know what's legitimate or not. Like, anytime somebody comes at me for a sponsorship deal, which I've never actually accepted one, I've never gone through and actually done one, but if they're not verified, I don't even respond, let alone consider it, because I wouldn't want to push something that's illegitimate and going to rip off my fan base, because that's just no good.
We've gotten a couple of those before, like, and I've Googled them or YouTubed them, and it ended up being a scam. And it's like, of course.
Yeah, they're all like scams. I wouldn't trust anybody, like unless it was like someone, I don't know, unless it was something I would like actually use. Like I know like Audible is like a affiliate thing, but I actually use Audible. If I thought it was going to actually be a real thing where we could actually push it, maybe, but I don't know.
Again, I mean, you definitely want to push something that you believe in that works. So, I mean, to be honest, if Better Health came to me and they're like, hey, are you sad? It's like, yeah, I am sad. And they're like, here's $200. Do you feel better? It's like, fuck yeah, I feel better. It's like, push our product. It's like, man, Better Health, I was depressed and now I'm happy.
No, I'm wiping my tears with $100 bills.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is great. But yeah, I don't know. It also, I hate the idea of having to promote something, because it's like retention is hard enough as it is. Like early on, we had our intro sequence was like 8 seconds long, and our audience would fall off before the intro was done, like all of it. So we had to get down to like a 2-second intro. So it's like, to think that people would sit through us talking about a product, it's like, no, it takes away from the content.
There's a lot of essay channels that like always have brand deals every week with like the dumbest stuff. I'm like, how is this still like a thing? How many people just keep signing up? It's like 100, like an average, like 100, 200,000 sub channels that just do like movie or video games or something each week. And they'll have like, those Skillshare or whatever stupid courses they're offering, Great Courses Plus. I'm just like, how is it still viable? Dude, people...
It's always something really stupid and something you would never use. Which, speaking of things, how about we talk about something that you do use every day? Do you guys have beards? Do you have unwanted body hair? Have you ever heard of Dollar Shave Club? For only something 99 a month, you can get a razor. Apparently you get ass wipes. I hear about that. They're apparently really good. But yeah, just go to www.dollarshaveclub/ go fuck yourself.
No, that's how we never get sponsored ever.
I mean, we would, let's be real. If Dollar Shave Club jumped at us, we would definitely, the next video I'd be clean shaven and be like, guys, Let's talk.
I used to always shave gold razor that I got as like a bundle thing, but I never paid for the refills, and it was free. So
yeah, I totally think like if a legitimate sponsor ever came to me and was like, hey, yeah, I would take it. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? If it doesn't work, if my audience is like, oh, this is terrible, like why would you do this? Then I just won't do it again. But so it's always worth taking risks here and there and seeing if it works, seeing if it doesn't.
Definitely.
Experimenting a little.
I've seen a couple.
To get that loot box, the loot box thing. I always thought that'd be a fun one to get, but never worked out.
Yeah, I saw a couple of channels that have literally just done like almost these channels that used to be vlogging channels, but are now kind of like once a week uploads, where they usually like a branded content deal, like, and their videos will literally be like a 3-minute ad. Like that's all it is, like centered around one product, and it's like the most obvious thing. Sometimes they'll get called out for it, like people will react and like dislike it. Other times they're like, "Oh, great video, awesome to see you uploading, keep it up." And it's just like all centered around an ad deal. So,
but you could do it like JonTron and do flex tape. Have you seen those videos?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, it's like his biggest viewed videos, and like he's like a multi-millions YouTuber, but the video is all about flex tape and just kind of making fun of it. But I'm pretty sure he's sponsored by flex tape, so he's getting paid out the ass. So we could always do that. Just make fun of shit and hope they don't mind.
See, back to the comments thing though, like that's something that I've noticed heavily, right? Like say I did do something sponsored, I know that like my core audience would be like, hey, this is awesome, like, you know, this is totally cool, like we're happy that, you know, you're making money off this, like we can wait a little bit for the stories, like it's totally cool, you know what I mean? And like I know that would be the first reaction, but then it's once a video starts getting suggested, I mean, this goes with anything, that all of a sudden you start getting comments that are just ridiculous. And people are like, you breathed for too long in the first 3 seconds. Like, it's like, okay, all right, my bad. Like, never mind the fact that I had 40 minutes of audio with 0 mistakes. Apparently I breathed too loud in between 4 minutes and 20 seconds and 4 minutes and 21 seconds. But like, what the fuck?
People are petty, man. We should make a video compilation of like the horror community reading mean tweets and mean comments and stuff like that.
I feel like it would be the best.
Yeah, we should start putting that. We need to stop. We need to actually start saving them, because usually, like if it pisses us off, we'll usually reply and get heated. Sometimes we just delete it because it's like the stupidest shit. But I wish we had saved some of them, because we've had some really, really cringy, stupid ones. There's one. I mean, I can't remember. It was bad.
Like one of my videos that did pretty well here recently, right? Like the first story was about this guy who goes urban exploring with his friend. Okay, his friend doesn't show up. He goes to the basement of this place, and there's a giant cylinder, okay, like a big glass tube, and there's like 9 people inside of it, but they're all like conjoined into one being, and it's like crying for help or whatever, and like he considers helping them, and then he realizes that one of the people in there is his friend or some shit, and people are in the comment section like, is this real? And I'm like, oh no. Like, I didn't think I would have to say anything, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought it would go without saying that it's not a real story. And then, you know, there's people replying like, well, it says true in the title. And I'm like, where? Like, no, it doesn't. They're like, well, then you deleted it. And it's like, no, I didn't. Like, it was never there. Like, you scroll down to the bottom of the description, it even says, these stories are fictional, not meant to be taken serious. But,
oh my God.
You know, it's like the core audience always gets it. Like, they're with it. They understand. You know what I mean? But once you breach out into that farther audience, it's like, what is going on? What is this? Definitely. And then you gotta just kind of stay away from the comment section for a bit, because otherwise you'll go insane.
Yeah, one that comes to mind is, have you ever heard of the Lavender Town Syndrome from the Pokemon games?
I don't think so.
It's a creepypasta that said, like, in the original Pokemon games, there was one town's music that had a really high frequency sound that would drive kids to commit suicide. And again, it was a creepypasta. It's one of the earlier ones, like before Slender Man, all that stuff. And I made a video on it, and there was people in the comments like, oh, this is bullshit, this isn't real, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it says creepypasta in the title, dude. I was like, don't get your panties in a bunch. I was like, I don't know of any real creepypastas. It's like, I don't think they're supposed to be real. But again,
yeah, I mean,
people find little things to get mad about.
I get a lot of those because like a lot of people even now don't realize that like I really don't do true stories. Like I really don't. Like I might here and there, and whenever I do, I'll even say in the beginning, like, just so you know, stories 2, 4, and 5 are real or whatever, you know what I mean? Or I'll just put them all at the beginning just so it's easier. That way it's half real, half fiction. You know, whatever I wind up doing. So long as all the stories are in one niche. But I get so many comments just like, these stories are fake, these stories are terrible, and it's like, okay, but I mean, just because it doesn't say creepypasta in the title doesn't mean I'm claiming they're real. Like, just, it says 5 scary stories, not 5 true scary stories. And people are like, well, then you're clickbaiting, and it's like, oh man, you guys find anything to complain about.
Fuck
This
you,
is ridiculous.
You're a phony. You're a big fat phony.
I'm only gonna see you comment on my next 5 videos in the next few weeks.
Oh man! Oh, it's already been.
That's what Bad Vibes has been doing. He's been like surfing through my comment section. He'll see like what the main critique is, and then he'll just make like the most embellished comment. It's always pretty funny.
Oh, that's good. We need a comment warrior in our comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 2 hours, so I guess actually I think we are at the end of what we had to talk about anyway.
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry for keeping you so long. This was awesome, though. Thank you for doing it. It was definitely worth the wait. I didn't mention before that Jersey D or Jersey Ventures was the one that like recommended like trying to get you on here because she's usually on here. She was in the comments tonight, but I saw her like Discord light up, and I'm like, I didn't say anything. But yeah, she's the one who recommended you. I'm really glad we could have you on, and we've been following you for a long time. The whole like demonetization struggle, and even before that. So it's fucking. I didn't know you had all these fucking struggles. You should, for real, do a video or a book or something. Just start writing all that out because you've done a roller coaster ride of everything and haven't given up. It's impressive. So I would have said, fuck it. Fuck everything. Fuck YouTube. Fuck it all.
Fuck gaming. Fuck Call of Duty. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep. I'm taking a nap.
Oh, thanks for having me on, though. It was a lot of fun. This is like the first time somebody's asked me to come on for an interview, and I'm glad it was you guys and not, you know, somebody that's less professional or less fun or whatever you want to say. You guys got a good mix of both.
Less
so.
professional, holy shit!
I mean, you guys have like a really you guys have like a really good solid mix of both. So I'm glad it was you guys and not somebody else.
Yeah, it was a really good time. We'll have to have you on again sometime, or just have a bullshit stream.
Yeah.
I'm down. Anytime.
Well, again, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to check out Slumber's channel in the comments if you didn't know. I mean, in the description, wherever
it is. In the description this time. Sometimes I forget to put it in. It's in there this time. It's definitely there. So check it out. Next Friday we're having Joey Adventures on, which we're hopefully one day gonna do a like real life collaboration with her and maybe Michael Scott sometime, either in North Carolina or South Carolina. So that's to make sure she's not a serial killer. So, but we usually do this every Friday night. So if you're new, haven't checked it out before, and hopefully we'll eventually have a new video out that I'm trying to edit for the past couple weeks. But
that's
hopefully
our goal
it'll be
for 2019 to get that video out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we'll try in 2019 to have our new videos out on Wednesday. So that's it. That's the only updates. Thank you guys for everything, and thank you, Slumber, for everything. We appreciate it all the time. It was worth the wait, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, thanks again for having me on. It's an honor.
Thank you. But yeah, everyone, hope you guys have a great weekend, and until next time, stay strange.